It is a fabulous, fascinating day in the nation's capital, and we are locked in here on your authoritative choice. It is Voice of Nigeria, where we always bring you the top notch on the tropical, telling, and most trending stories making round. Welcome here, and on this occasion, we'll be looking at the chances of the Super Eagles making it to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. We call it the Jackpot World Cup in USA, Canada, and Mexico. Welcome here. My name is Sean Pablo. Let's get the ball rolling. Welcome back. And of course, it is a moment to be able to talk sports in the nation's capital. And here in Talking Sports, we are going to give you just as it is, red hot, while served with the juice and the sauce, all in the same plate. Well, of course, we have on the show tonight two gentlemen, one on my right, a very regular of the Voice of Nigeria stable. He is a Serenos, and of course, I'm talking about no other than Salisu Mohammed.
It's my pleasure to join you.
Well, of course, last week Friday, we actually had on virtual space a young man, we'll call him a tall man with a tall vision, and this man continues to make wave all around the continent of Africa, taking beach soccer to the crannies and corners of the continent. He is no other than the coordinator of the Nigeria Beach Soccer League, and also he doubles as the president of Africa Beach Soccer Union. Ladies and gentlemen, with a huge pleasure, help me welcome Malam Mahmoud Hadija. Sir.
Yeah, it's really my pleasure to make my debut on this show, the Voice of Nigeria. So with you guys, you have the voice of beach soccer.
And that's perfectly said, of course, man. We are going to get into it straight, of course. The Super Eagles of Nigeria lost out to Zimbabwe in a match that looked like it was almost all 3-pointer win away, despite not recording a loss in that fixture. But with the realities on the cards, and of course with the tabletop of South Africa right with 6 points clarity, it looked as if it's not going to be at all for the Super Eagles for the consecutive second season of the FIFA World Cup. But we still have 4 games to play across board for all of the 6 teams, and we are going to be looking at what possibilities the Super Eagles of Nigeria still stand in this very, very technically COSA Cup or combined Group C, and let's see what happens. Let's just get it started off. We defeated Rwanda, and it was like we were definitely going to be there. There were a lot of permutations, a lot of possibilities in the air. Everybody expected that the Super Eagles of Nigeria were going to go all the way and take all 3 points against the bottom rockers of Group C. Talk about Zimbabwe. But here at the Godswill of Fabio Stadium, a different tale was told. And Salisu Mohammed, how did you see the picture?
Well, I refuse to allow my spirit to be dampened about our chances of qualifying for the FIFA World Cup. We fought hard, we had a late goal, and we were expected to maintain that goal and get the whole 3 points. But unfortunately, complacency set in, which was foreseen by Coach Eric Schell. When we defeated Rwanda, he made it clear to the team that you have to be very vigilant. I have to remain focused. Maybe they did not get the message very well, and until that happened. But needless to say that, I think importantly, what I observed in the national team is that there is a department which, right from all the 3 coaches that we had before Eric Schell, has not been addressed. That is the central midfield. Yeah, we have to bring a playmaker in. We have talked about that. We have looked forward to have a replacement if we could not get exactly like a coach, but there should be someone up there that should be able to, hold on to the ball and make sure that he control the midfield properly. Eric Schell is a French coach, and French teams do better from the midfield, but I didn't see that happen at the Super Eagles. We went to Rwanda. He played a Lookman 10 behind
Victor Osimhen.
Yeah, unusual. He did his best. He will come back here. I expected him to, turn things around and introduce more players and give some other players chances to play. But I didn't see that happen. Alex Iwobi came and stayed so long in the pitch, and he didn't do much to me. He brought in Oyedikachi, who he made way for Joe Aribo. If you look at him at his club side, I mean, he's not doing very well. So a whole lot of things that happened that day if we had won that game, possibly maybe we could have seen these loopholes. Maybe we'll go forward with confidence that we're going to beat other countries. But African football have evolved, have changed the way we think it is. There is no any other country that is called an Emino. There's no football just like technology. When you seek for it, you work very hard,
You're bound to go for it and get it.
Package you go. So the Super Eagles, in fact, they have to win all the 4 matches remaining for us to get the playoff. South Africa, have a protest submitted by Lesotho, but for all indication, Lesotho have refused to appeal, and the appeal has to come up in
before that to be taken up by CAF. Okay, there's really a whole lot around this conversation. So many mix, and of course, talking about the central midfielder, the attacking midfielder, who is supposed to be that connection between the defense and, of course, the offense. That man who is supposed to cross the T's and dot the I to making sure that Nigeria is able to connect it, especially inside of the final third, to be able to get clinical. Victor Osimhen, absolutely clinical for me. In the last 2 games, he scored 3 goals for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and no other goal had been scored without him. I saw where he was really, really angry. After the match, he really felt disappointed. He felt like he was let down by some of the mates, and it looked like he was the only one who understood what he meant. That to over 222 million Nigerians who are looking for to see a win over Zimbabwe. Malam Mahmoud Hadeja, you are somebody who have been in the terrain of football for so many years, talk about decades, before being able to be at the helms of beach soccer. Can you look at this game against Zimbabwe critically and tell us, were the Super Eagles overconfident? Were they too relaxed? Did they underrate the opposition? Was it a case of not paying enough respect?
Okay, thank you very much. I believe looking at that game and the previous games the Super Eagles have played in Africa recently, it goes to show that African football is a whole different kettle of fish.
Absolutely.
Just like if you go to South America, the way they play their qualifiers and their games is totally different. Same goes to Europe and other continents. So I think some of our players, are finding it really difficult to adjust, coming from the clubs, to play the African football. And that is why we're singing praises for Osimhen, because Osimhen is a typical African player, and his style. It's just rather unfortunate, we're still talking about the likes of JJ Okocha and some great players in the maybe after
over a decade.
Maybe we need to call them out of retirement
Do we have to
come and help. But I think the Super Eagles lack consistency, really, because the quality is there. We can't continue blaming the coaches. Why? Because we've had so many different coaches, and they can't all be bad coaches. So I think the team needs to go back to the drawing board and find ways on how to adjust and play African football. If it means bringing our local players, which has worked previously, I think we need to do that, so that we can have the right formula to play African football, because it's not really working for us based on the results we've had recently.
Well, it's no gainsaying, because we played 5 games. It will be 1 win for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, who are known to be serial winners. But the case is totally different here, and the conversation is taking over the globe. The whole world of football are talking about how the Super Eagles are going to miss another FIFA World Cup. Can you even imagine a back-to-back disappointment? JJ Okocha came out to say that it wasn't really about the coach, just like you said. It was not just about the coach, because all these coaches cannot all be bad. South Africa, Hugo Bruce, of course, he's really having a way with his team. But again, you look at General. He used to be our manager, and look at teams like Rwanda. They are still there, and of course on top, 13 points for South Africa, 8 for Benin Republic, 8 as well for Rwanda, and we are placed in 4th with only 7 points. JJ coach just said it wasn't about the coaches, that the players have to do a bit more. Sir Mohammed, looking at the odds, the numbers don't speak in our favor. Even the roundup you are talking about, the playoff right now, it is not even looking plausible. If you can only win 1 in 6, what is the guarantee you're going to win 4 in 4?
Well, just like overall respect to the players appear to be very worried after the blunder that they had. They realized that the chances that they had has narrowed the box themselves to a corner where it would be difficult for us to come out of it. But as they are all speaking, maybe they will come out of their shell and make sure that things work around to make sure that they approach all the games with all utmost seriousness. I think there should be a little bit of a lack of patriotism from the players. Our country, the populous black nation in the world, I think you should be very proud of Nigeria having over 200 million people watching you and beating the drum and hoping that you win convincingly and they get then disappointed. So it's a whole lot of things. They themselves will be receiving badge on the social media and all their mistakes. So
Best believe Nigerians.
I believe that the next all the remaining 4 games will see a different Super Eagles. That's just our hope for now. But a lot of people have just given up with what just happened in Gospel Akpabio Stadium. To be very candid with you.
And that is where we are going to be wrapping up the show. I really want to say thank you out there for watching, for listening, and for following. Thank you for being a part. My name is Sean, and I am gone.